back to the Post TV. I'm Meg McCleary.
And I'm Chase Borland. Thanks for joining us.
A holiday coat drive is being held by a local insurance company until December 18th. Bickle Insurance is focusing the coat drive on coats and winter gear specifically for children. Bickle has teamed up with different schools in Athens area to reach as many kids as possible. They prefer gently used or like new coats and other winter gear to be dropped off at their office located on 84 Columbus Circle. All Bickle locations are accepting donations at Hillsborough, Buckeye Lake, Wilmington, Medina, or Woodsfield offices to help kids in these communities.
Students at Ohio University put together the first Athens Vintage Market in Baker Ballroom. Reporter Danny Gray has the details about what these vendors have to offer and why the market is so successful.
The Athens Vintage Market had its first vendor event in the Baker Center Ballroom this past Sunday. Organized by curators Cole Gilbert and Zane Manning, both students at Ohio University, the event allowed for local designers and artists to showcase and sell their products. Here's what some of the vendors had to say about the experience.
I learned how to sew during lockdown and just never stopped. I don't know. I think it's great. I hope we do more of them. I hope people come out. I told a ton of people about it who had no idea things like this existed in Baker, and it's pretty big.
She was making some pieces for herself and then started making them for her friends. Yeah. And at that point we thought, and she was making a lot, so it was taking up room at the house. So we thought, why not try to sell some and make a little bit of money?
Over the course of the event, hundreds of customers milled about the selection of stands. The community atmosphere that this type of setting creates is something that these vendors are thankful for.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it keeps clothing out of landfills. It keeps people shopping local, gives people a bit of a community to come to. Yeah.
Well, I think it's really nice to see the variety of people, but I think the younger crowd is just a lot more vibrant. There's so many different things and different people that you see and you run into. And it's nice to see all the other different vendors and the things that they have. And it kind of inspires us to do some different things too.
I've always thrifted, so yeah, I mean, why not make some money on it, you know what I mean? I think that it really brings people together. It's free admission. The goal of today was just to get people to find some good clothes, and there's not too many places around here to shop, so it's nice to bring everyone together. I am very happy with the turnout today, and I'd like to say thank you to everybody who showed up today, and my vendors I am very thankful for, and all the help I've had, and I really appreciate it.
Vendors had a very positive experience, hoping this becomes an annual thing. They love the young, vibrant crowd and how it keeps people shopping local. Dating apps have become a very successful part of college students' social life. But are they really successful? Let's hear students' opinions on this.
In the past, I've only used Hinge.
Name a dating app I've been on it. Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, eHarmony. I've been on it.
I'm on Tinder and I'm on Hinge. And are they successful? I don't think so.
I tried.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it was too non-organic. Like it was too automated. It was too easy.
I think Tinder and other apps kind of have like a reputation of being like just hookup based, or like people get that kind of idea of like, I don't know what the app actually is.
I think it is just because I think it like just promotes hookup culture, because it's just like, oh, I found someone, oh, I have swiped on so many people and I'm talking to multiple people at the moment.
Yeah, because obviously each app has kind of been like known to produce certain things, like some are used for hookups, some are used for relationships.
I do believe it's like hookup culture. I think that those apps kind of promote, I guess not like the relationship aspect of like meeting people.
No, it's pretty much just a lot of failed talking situationships. So no, it's never really been that successful.
I feel like because it's different from Tinder, I feel like Tinder is more like hookup based, but Hinge is like you kind of get to meet the person a little bit more, like learn about their personality through the prompts. And I have gone on dates with people from Hinge, like multiple dates, so I think, yeah.
I like to see their profile. Obviously looks are a factor, and then just if they have information about themselves and relate to anything.
I just feel like they're not like an accurate representation of like who people actually are. And I feel like people use the dating apps to kind of like make themselves better than who they are. So it's not really authentic in the way that you think it is.
It seems like dating apps will be sticking around for a while, but hopefully more successful relationships will start to come from them.
Do you ever feel like you're struggling as a college student and need help? Well, Ask Me Athens is the podcast for you. It's all about advice for college students.
Hey, I'm Eva.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Trey.
And this is Ask Me Athens. Welcome to the second episode of Ask Me Athens, an advice podcast for college students by college students. Today, I come with a question for you, Trey and Emma. I come with a question about this time of year. It's pretty hectic, you know. We just had an election. It's like midterms. You got a lot of homework to do. You got a lot of exams to do, and you still feel like you gotta have a social life. So I come asking, how do you guys deal with all that? How do you personally deal with all the stress being a college student in this day and age?
As a freshman, this podcast would be really helpful. If you feel the same, be sure to check it out on our website, postathens.com.
Now let's head over to James to look at our recent weather.
Good to see you again. My name is James Zinnbauer. I'm your forecaster for this week, courtesy of Ohio University's Scalia Laboratory. As you can see, Thursday has turned out to be a pretty nice day so far. We're getting temperatures in the upper 50s, light breeze, partly cloudy skies behind me as well. So good news and bad news moving on to the weekend as well. Good news, our temperatures are going to stay around in the same range, maybe in the upper 50s, maybe even low 60s by Sunday. Bad news is, around Friday, we're getting another round of rain coming through. That rain will likely be around in the morning, maybe into noon, a couple showers lingering around into the afternoon and evening as well. Then once again on Sunday, we're getting another round of showers here and there. So a little spotty, scattered, so it won't be too big of a hindrance. But moving on as well into the next week is planned. We're getting a lot more clouds hanging around in the area. So it's going to be a little bit more gloomy, but the good news is there's not going to be as much rain. Maybe a couple showers here and there, but for the most part, temperatures in the mid-40s. Pretty calm week, but more cloudy and gloomy as well. So for the time being, that's all I have to report, but thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Ellie Metzler with the Sports Update. Men's basketball faces Delaware at home this Saturday at 2 p.m. The men's basketball team is coming off a trip to the Bahamas where they faced 3 different teams with a 2-1 record. This event is hosted at the Baha Mar Hotel, which hosts the Baha Mar Hoops event. The Bobcats defeated Middle Tennessee State and Brown and lost to George Washington. D1 hockey plays Niagara at home this Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. and D2 hockey plays Indiana University this Friday and Saturday at 10 p.m. And lastly, Ohio Wrestling takes it to Las Vegas this weekend to participate in the Clifton Keen Las Vegas Invitational. That's all for sports. Now let's send it over to Cole for editorial.
What the frack? The newest edition of The Post is here. This week's headlining story covers the Oil and Gas Land Management Commission's decision to allow fracking in wildlife areas owned by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Also in news, read about how Rumpke is Athens' newest solid waste hauler and what that means for the community. Our culture staff wrote about Athens' cannabis industry's stakeholders and advocates looking towards a greener future and how OU takes initiative in recycling and sustainability. In sports, read about 6 Ohio players recognized to all MAC teams and how the upcoming bowl performance is crucial for Ohio. Also in this week's edition of The Post is a story on dating apps and an opinion column on gym anxiety, plus so much more. Be sure to pick up the latest edition of The Post today.
Thanks, Cole. With the holidays coming up, there are many different unique traditions. So we asked our staff what their favorite holiday traditions are.
My favorite holiday tradition is on Christmas Eve. We always drive around and look at all the Christmas lights.
My favorite holiday tradition is baking cookies with my mom.
My favorite holiday tradition is my family and I, we bake like dozens and dozens of like Christmas cutout cookies, and we frost them with a bunch of friends.
My favorite holiday tradition is on Christmas Eve, my family and I actually go to Japanese steakhouse. Don't know why, but that's what we always do. And then we go to a big Christmas party with all our family friends, and it's the best. And we open one present on Christmas Eve.
Christmas morning every year we get these like delicious cinnamon squares from a local bakery. And we only get them on Christmas, and we eat them every Christmas morning with hot chocolate, and it is just the best.
My favorite Christmas tradition, this might be because I come from a family with a lot of younger siblings, is actually the reindeer food that you sprinkle on your lawn.
My favorite holiday tradition is probably baking cookies with my family, and then we go to the local neighborhood bar after, so it's fun.
My favorite holiday tradition is the fact that I'm the only one who decorates the Christmas tree. Like every year, I do it by myself.
My favorite holiday tradition is driving around and seeing all the Christmas lights. My favorite are the ones that are synced to a radio station. We've only been called, the cops have only been called once on us, so.
My favorite holiday tradition is leaving cookies out for Santa.
Well, seems like there are a lot of holiday traditions. What's your favorite, Chase?
I think my favorite is spending time with my family on my mom's birthday, which happens to be Christmas Eve.
That's so fun.
Quarantine gave everyone more free time than they knew what to do with. Hear how Rayleigh Saffron used it to discover his love for drag.
I did not start drag actually until like my second year here, so last year. Back in quarantine, I was interested in like makeup, so I practiced makeup, and I started practicing a little more dramatic makeup, like drag makeup, without realizing it was drag makeup. And I eventually ran into RuPaul's Drag Race, watched it, I fell in love, and that's when I started making my character very slowly. Eventually, I just thought, no, it doesn't hurt to ask. So I asked her, I said, hey, I want to start performing in drag. She immediately said, yes, let's get you on the next show. And so I debuted with Evelyn Everything, and it's been over a year now of me doing drag, and it's just been such a fun year. I can also say my drag family, they're the ones that, it's funny because I've known them the least amount of time, but they know the second I am down, and they know the exact thing to say. Almost like they went through the exact same thing I went through. You know, dealing with the issues of your family, not understanding, the mental struggles that come with just being a part of something that is, especially nowadays, such a political topic. You know, it really is so comforting to have such a strong drag family here in Athens, which is honestly probably my favorite part about being a drag queen in Athens. I went up to one queen, her name is Maya Business, such a funny, amazing queen. And I asked her, I said, hey, I have a drag show tomorrow. It's my debut show. Do you have any advice for me? And she said, what makes you you? What makes you, why do you need to be a part of drag?
Rayleigh Saffron found himself with the help and advice from other drag queens who helped encourage him to find his journey. This has been a huge confidence boost for him and something he will continue to pursue.
That's all we have for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in this week. I'm Meg McCleary.
And I'm Chase Borland, and be sure to check out all our socials. We are on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok. Have a great week in Bobcats. See you next week.